Live from Fargo, it's the Geek Show.
It feels like it.
Seriously.
Yeah, you're hunkered down in your house. You're not going outside because of this weather. You're just going to stay in here and you're going to watch us on the YouTube and listen to us on the audio on the podcast. And coming up at the end of the program, our deep dive into Avengers Campus coming up.
I'm excited for that.
How you doing?
I want to go to there.
It's pictures too. I took some pictures.
Oh, Rebecca, I'm so glad you're back. I did a terrible job with the pictures last week.
You did just fine.
I did okay, but she does great. So
Oh, thanks. I've also pictures are new and improved this week too because I have a second monitor, so I can more I've hacker voice. I'm in. Like I've got more control over everything I'm doing over here.
She's got a second monitor. She's Rebecca Frost, everybody.
Yeah, it's too big. It's way too big.
no way.
There's no such thing as too big a monitor.
That's right. No, there's no such thing as too big. There's no such thing as too many.
And he means well. He's Quad T, Too Tall Tony.
I always mean
Quad
well.
T Tony, there's no such thing as too big.
Got that right. Coming from a Sasquatch, you know.
That's right. Robert Neal walked his dog this morning. Good for you.
You should take my dogs. They're going stir crazy, Rob.
I mean, come on. You want me to let you know when I'm walking the dogs? We just walk them all at the same time?
Oh, maybe they're crazy boys. But also, I don't want to go outside.
I was gonna say she's like that. Just love to go outside.
That's the thing. You don't want to go outside.
Fargo Tundra.
And our returning champion, it's Mike, everybody. Lawyer Mike. Hi.
He's full of secrets.
Oh, his mic's not on
no.
again.
His mic's not
it's
on again.
just like last week.
Well, it was working earlier.
We were talking and everything was fine, and then suddenly, boom, he went away. Anyway, Mike will be back. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, he'll be back in a sec.
Mike will be back. All right.
And our host
Mr.
with the
Kerry
where is he? He's
Jackson.
over here. There he is.
Hi. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com. All right.
You back,
You made
Mike?
it back.
I don't know. Am I back?
Now you're back.
Yay.
This is the best streaming platform around. It's so good. Turn it off and back on again. I changed nothing.
Nobody has problems but you.
Yeah, what's the deal?
Weird.
Yeah. All right.
Weird. I have questions for the IT guy on this show.
I'm not working this weekend.
Yeah, I'm off too. Sorry.
All right, let's get to the news. The big news this week, of course, the big announcement, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah. So is this the end of the Mandalorian TV show?
That we don't know yet. We do know that this project has been in the works for a while. It was prioritized during the strike. Apparently there are scripts for season 4, but this is the priority right now. That's all we know. We got Grogu heading to the big screen. Who'd have thunk it? Jon Favreau, the creator, he's going to be in charge of this whole thing. You got Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni producing the feature. Going into production as soon as possible. This is the first movie since Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. It is,
I sure miss the days when we were anticipating a Rogue Squadron movie.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it.
I wanted that movie so badly.
It was set up perfectly with Patty Jenkins and
Right.
No,
this movie comes at an interesting time for Kathleen Kennedy though, because
Yes.
her contract is supposedly up this year.
And everybody wants her gone, and I don't know why.
Look at her track record, folks. She
I
is
know
a
why.
player.
Psst, I know why.
Why?
It's because she's a woman.
Exactly.
Oh.
She's got a good batting average, folks. I'm sorry.
And she's been around since like the dawn of movies.
Yeah.
That's an old joke.
She may have a couple of misses, but for the most part, she's been there since the beginning with E.T., so I mean, let's give it. And another thing happened to me this week when I started seeing people complaining about this, and I flashed back to myself in 1977. Little prepubescent Carrie.
I can't do that.
And
You can't flash to prepubescent.
You can't quantum
can't?
leap.
quantum leap.
No.
I pictured today Carrie appearing to prepubescent Carrie
Oh no.
and saying, guess what? More Star Wars. Isn't this cool? And little prepubescent Carrie says, there can never be enough Star Wars. Because I'm telling you, if somebody would have come to me and said at that age, there's going to be so much Star Wars, I wouldn't say, I'm sick of Star Wars. I wouldn't say that. I would say,
that's so funny.
I would say, oh, good.
So funny. I would be like, there's going to be so much Star Wars. You're going to be sick of Star Wars. You're going to be puking Star Wars. There's not going to be any more room for more Star Wars. There's so much Star Wars.
He would have Star Wars fatigue?
Yeah. Like
Just
I said,
saying.
prepubescent Carrie would be excited about the prospect of Star Wars fatigue. He'd say, bring it on.
I'm still there, Carrie. Give me all the Star Wars. I'll watch
you
it.
know, sure.
Maybe not all when it comes out. I'm a little behind, but
I mean, that's the thing, is that you don't have to see it all.
That's
you
what
know?
I was going to say.
You don't
throw
have
it all
to-
out there, and I'll watch what I want to. You know?
You don't have to watch it and then complain about it. Just don't watch it. If you're
But
gonna
how are
do
you
it.
going to
I've got to
get the
complain about
clicks?
something.
You got to get the clicks, the likes.
That's what it's all about.
You
isn't
gotta
it?
get them clicks.
But
what it's
Carrie,
all about.
I'm a white middle-aged man in the basement. I must complain.
My
But my
identity is defined.
opinions.
Exactly. My identity is defined by my opinions.
Exactly. Anyway, and then in that same vein, new Star Trek movie announced.
That's okay. I'll take that.
Comes
Yeah,
at an
oh, yeah.
interesting time for Paramount.
Yes.
Following
know,
up on our
like,
conversation
such a-
from last week.
Such a bold choice to announce this right now.
I know.
They're boldly
right?
going where
Well,
no movie has gone before.
what else are you going to do to increase your stock price? They've gone from a market cap of what 22 million to less than 10 over the
Million?
last 3 years. Or sorry, billion.
Okay, I was going to say,
Yeah, yeah.
what?
Yeah.
No, Paramount Plus has gutted the company. They have to find some way to make some money.
Do
Well,
they still
this-
have theme parks? Just throw money at those.
Boy, you
Well,
know,
like all the dad shows too. Like they're the dad app. They have they don't have Yellowstone anymore, but they have all the dad shows and ESPN.
yeah, I got all
No,
that.
they don't have
sports.
ESPN.
No,
the
ESPN
sports.
is
No.
Disney.
Yep.
do have
Yeah, I know.
CBS.
I don't know if you
CBS
knew,
has
but I
the-
corrected myself right
She's
away.
right. She's right. CBS has the NFL contract.
Yeah,
for-
they've got a lot of
Thank
live
you,
sports
Mike,
there.
my one true friend.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Jeez.
Well, that and the Showtime merger with Paramount, is that helping them at all, Mike? Is that
Well, it was always owned by, and in fact, I think it was sort of a last gasp. They already owned Showtime, so it doesn't increase the value
All
of
right.
either. It's just folding them into the same product.
all right? Anyway, the announcement about this movie, this film will take place decades before JJ's 2009 feature. So that says to me what, the start of the Federation, or
Yeah,
the start of the
maybe.
first space explorations?
Are we
or
getting some more
something?
Enterprise timeline? Like the show
That's-
Enterprise?
That's the thing, is that I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do, is, the first ship named Enterprise.
Bringing Bacula back?
Bringing in the backs. Backs is
It
back.
would have to be original timeline, right?
Yes.
Well, it
Because
would
the
be,
Kelvin
wouldn't it?
timeline,
Yeah.
Can
the
I
Kelvin
see
timeline
how-
didn't occur until
2009.
2009.
Our
Can I
2009.
see a
Yeah.
wee baby Captain Pike? A Starfleet Academy Captain Pike?
Yeah, I wonder
Oh, they're
what
going to
this is gonna
Grogu
be.
Pike. This is
They're
going to
gonna Grogu Pike.
Think about that. The hair alone is worth the watch.
But that's all we know about this, is that it
Well,
takes place decades before.
But didn't they also say that Toby Haynes is supposed to be directing it?
Yes, we
Our
do
friend,
have that.
our friend who is behind Andor.
Yes, Toby
Our friend who
Haynes.
is behind this episode of Black Mirror, the USS
Now we're
Callister.
talking. That was a great episode.
So
Writ-
the plot, yeah. Go ahead.
Written by the same author of The Big Book of Porn.
I
Seth Graham Smith.
no, there's
The what
no
now?
bad. Stop selling.
I know, right?
She's already got her money out.
No, Seth Graham
You
Smith is
already
writing
have
it. You're right. He's known as the author for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Don't hold that against
Oh
him.
no, I liked
I enjoyed that movie.
All right.
And the
Lego
book.
Batman movie.
Yeah, okay.
good
So
stuff.
yeah, I'm. As you know, I'm a. You may have heard I'm a Star Trek fan.
Wait,
And,
what?
Yeah. So I'm interested in this. I'm curious as to what they will do. Good luck with it. If it's not Kirk and the Enterprise, because you've got a perfectly good cast and crew there. People like them. I don't
But
know
also,
why you.
I do want to see it.
Gotta branch out, I think.
This is the Star Wars problem, right? Like,
Yep.
let me see some other things happening.
I've seen enough
in this
Skywalker.
huge galaxy of ours.
Give me something else.
Okay. Let's see. Then also, now I think, Tony, you're still watching this. Speaking of Paramount Plus, Halo Season 2
Yeah.
trailer was out.
Yeah, buddy. The fall of Reach is coming. Oh, yeah.
We got our first official trailer for Season 2. Pablo Schreiber returning as Master Chief John 117, leading a team. 117, excuse me.
Oh my God.
Hey, what did I say earlier? Look at me. Come on. Where I'm at.
I'm in a hurry. I need to shorten it to 117. All right.
You're lucky you got any numbers at all, Tony.
Exactly.
Fine,
let's
thank you.
see.
Whatever. Move on.
You got new season showrunner David Weiner from Brave New World.
Wiener.
Exactly. Taking over for last season's Stephen Kane. So yeah, this is go watch the trailer. February 8th is when it begins. So
it's really funny. I have several group of friends that like or hate Halo. One group that I'm more aligned with, we're like, yeah, it's good. It's alternate telling. It's a lot of fun. You know, some of it's not great, but a lot of it is. And then the other group is like, this is the worst thing that anyone's ever done. I can't believe that they took Master Chief and they took his helmet off and I'm just like, you guys don't like more Halo?
Real problem.
listen, even
so
the
funny.
Mandalorian takes his helmet off every
That's
now
what
and
I
then,
said at
okay?
one point when we were talking about it. I was like, even the Mandalorian took his helmet off, and it's a religious thing for him.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, oh God, I'm going to be that guy.
Oh,
There was one of the
be
beginning of one of the
fair.
games. He puts his helmet on. You don't see his face,
Right.
but he comes out of cryo and he puts his helmet on. It's like he's out of the helmet.
Yeah.
Because
get
he
over
is me.
The only reason they never show him with his helmet off is because it was less work at the start of when they were doing the games, and
Yeah.
it just became part of the mystique.
When it was first person and it was supposed to be you.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a good,
it's
that
silly.
as well.
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly it.
There's no like actual story reason or anything like that.
Okay, here's the second season
Well,
description.
actually.
So help me out with this. In the wake of a shocking event on a desolate planet, John cannot shake the feeling that his war is about to change and risks everything to prove what no one else will believe, that the Covenant is preparing to attack humanity's greatest stronghold.
Reach.
With the galaxy on the brink, John embarks on a journey to find the key to humankind's salvation or its extinction, the Halo.
So
That's the name of the game.
I get it.
They said it.
Another one of the reasons why this group of friends is so mad is because in the actual Halo timeline, the Reach stuff happens before John 117 comes into the picture. And so they're like, oh, they're messing the timeline up. He's not
whatever.
supposed to be on Reach.
Look, you got a
cares?
Halo
Wait until
TV
they-
series, for God's sake, all right?
Wait until
You
the
gotta
Kelvin
condense
timeline.
things.
Yeah,
You got to
Kel-
condense
Yeah,
things.
the Kelvin timeline will fix everything. February 8th is when that shows up. Another bit of announcement that we got this week, quite a few. 28 years later is the name of the movie.
Okay, so they've done days, weeks, and
They
now they're
skipped
doing
months.
years. They skip months.
28
okay.
weeks. Isn't that other movie? Or that 28
No,
That's a
different 28
pregnancy
weeks.
movie.
28 years later, it's being put together right now. Danny Boyle, Alex Garland teaming for the sequel to...
God, incredible.
Yep,
Which means that they will not say the Z word.
they won't.
Oh,
So
Well, no,
yeah.
they never did. I mean, when Boyle did his, he's like, "There's one thing we refuse to do, and that's to say the Z word."
oh, see, I haven't actually watched them. They've been on my list, and I
You
just have
haven't-
never got around
What
to
do
them.
you mean you haven't actually watched them? 28 Days
good.
Later is
I'm a-
so good,
I'm a
Tony.
bad geek.
They're all
Sorry.
good.
You know, geez.
Well, it's
go
okay.
back.
You're not a
Come on.
bad geek. There's a lot, but
Yeah.
So you're saying I should bump it up on my list?
Okay,
Yes.
so 28 Days was 2002, 28 Weeks was 2007, and here we are now with 28 years later.
Which is just about right in line.
Yeah, Boyle attached.
they've been
to,
planning this the whole time.
Boyle attached to direct the first installments. They're saying that maybe it could be a trilogy. They're not sure.
Oh, don't do that.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
It's
but-
already a trilogy when they finish this movie.
That
So it'll be 28, 29, and 30 years later.
28 decades later.
yeah, they've both talked about publicly potential sequels over the decades. 28 months later was bounced around. 28 years later coming into focus. Who knows? Anyway, you're getting more of that.
2,800 centuries in the future.
Yeah,
You're getting more of that. Let's see.
2,800 later.
Yeah, there you go.
It was announced that they're going to try for another remake of The Blob.
But it's not this blob, unfortunately.
It's not
Oh,
that
I love
Blob,
it.
no.
Physical prop right there.
That's from 1988 in the
It
remake
looks like
of
the
The
same
Blob.
guy.
1958 is when the original showed up. But it's funny because the rights holder is the widow of Jack Harris, who produced both the 58 and 88 versions. And she's the rights holder, and she said, okay, fine. You've got David Bruckheimer attached to write and direct. David Goyer and Keith Levine will produce alongside with Judith Harris, the rights holder, widow of Jack Harris. So you're getting another Blob movie. Who knows? Let's see.
We'll
Also,
follow the original Blob timeline.
yeah, we'll
The blob thin timeline.
28 blobs later.
The kill blob timeline.
28 Blobs later sounds like one of the newest TLC shows about overweight people.
Written by Seth Graham-Smith.
That's right. Some other little bits of news here. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Oh, I like that.
No, is that real? I want that to
No.
be real. Dang it.
Will now release
Such a
1 week
tease.
earlier than previously expected. It'll be on March 22nd. Meanwhile, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire will fill the previous Ghostbuster slot and release the following week, March 29th, 2024.
I kind of want the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man to be a Titan now.
I do,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just over empathized with Godzilla and got really hungry because he gets to eat that giant
Can you
marshmallow.
imagine? Just
Look, it's
roasts
already
it,
roasted.
roasts
Yeah.
it and dives in.
Just eat some Hershey's and a graham cracker, you're set.
Pretty easy for Godzilla to destroy the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, I'm afraid.
The picture after would be so good, guys.
Just put a stick in him, and then, there you go.
All the marshmallow fluff on Godzilla's
all
face.
over him.
Oh, it's sticky. I'm so sticky. Kong, come over here and kiss it off of me.
He can heat it up, right? With his
Exactly.
blaster powers,
Yeah.
whatever those are.
His radiation breath. Anyway,
It's the equivalent of popping it in the microwave.
sure. S'mores.
How big would Stay Puft Marshmallow Man get in a microwave big enough to hold him? Have you guys ever put a marshmallow in a microwave?
Are you
You
high?
haven't?
Are you high?
Put a marshmallow in the microwave and watch it. It grows about 4 times its original size in the microwave.
Because this is the conversations that high people have.
Well,
We don't have sufficient disclaimers for where this microwave conversation is going.
That's right.
How
Let's see.
appreciate good art.
How long do you put the marshmallow in the microwave?
Like 30 seconds is all you need.
I wouldn't
The
even
thing
do it
is
that
you would
long,
have
for God's
you'd
sake.
have to put him at Godzilla's house down at the bottom of the ocean where all that radiation is.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're submerging a marshmallow in water, and like what's
You're
all that
overthinking
about?
it. You're overthinking it,
What's
Rebecca.
all that
We just
about,
need
huh?
a giant microwave. Get the job done.
I'm just picturing Tony with a marshmallow on a stick in his microwave,
Yeah, I leave
wide
the door
open, just
On a
irradiating him.
a
Yeah.
metal
Yep.
knife.
I fix the thing so it thinks it's closed, and then I just sit there with the marshmallow like this.
Don't try this at home.
Please.
That's how I lost my hair.
Also, sad bit of news this week. We got word that Our Flag Means Death was canceled. The series creator released a statement on Instagram. David Jenkins said, "Sorry, you get 2 seasons. That's it."
I'm not caught up. Is that the?
It had a good run.
Is it canceled or is that the end of that story?
It says
It's
canceled.
canceled.
Okay.
That's HBO not wanting to spend the money on it, I suppose. All right, let's do.
I'm gonna be that guy though. The first season was better.
You think?
I liked the first season more than the second season.
I couldn't.
I
get
only watched the
through.
first season. I haven't watched any of the second season.
So
couldn't
going
finish
back to
the
the
first
whole
season.
merger acquisition thing, could this be HBO going, we're just cutting bait and let somebody else pick it up possibly because we don't want to spend the money because right now we don't have the money to spend?
There's always a possibility that these things get renewed and pushed over onto other streaming platforms. So, it's hard to say.
Let's do some housekeeping before we get on with the news. First of all, Jay is not here. He extends his apologies. He's road comic these days, and so it's hard for him to to join us.
Can't wait
Lee-
for that one question from that one person on social media wondering if Jay has quit yet.
Yeah,
We get one every week.
it's the same
As
guy.
as
usually.
if he's
Yeah.
listening to the episodes.
Yeah. So there's that. The latest on Lee George Cade. Yes, thank you for that. He's got more ahead of him. I kind of had a brief conversation with him this week about the possibility of coming back to the show because in my silly mind, it's like, you sit up and talk. You do that now. But
It's
there's
so
a lot-
easy.
There's a lot more to it than that. He's got a whole lot of treatments and surgeries still ahead of him. And he just doesn't have the strength back yet. And his voice is not where it needs to be either. So these are all things he's going to be working on. He will be back. He promised me that. But in the meantime, any little bit of money you can fork over to the Cade family, that would help. There's our the Venmo to make your donation. It's on all of our social medias. So go there if you think you can help. Like I said, he's got at least one more surgery ahead of him.
Yeah. Right now he's just focused on getting strong enough so he can have that surgery.
Exactly, yeah.
So.
So there's all that happening. On our Patreon, starting this week, I'm going to be sending some more videos to our Patreon. Sorry, very hectic week. I didn't have time to do any. But geekshowgotthiscovered.com is the place to find the link to our Patreon, and I'll have some more Time Closet videos. You get the Space Show early. You get all kinds of stuff on the Patreon. It's tree fitty. Come on, tree fitty. Also merch. Don't forget the merch. It's geekshow.store, and we're going to be letting go of the depending on how it does for the Oscars, the fashion doll adjacent Geek Show shirt.
Listen, we have to wait till award season is over because I'm
Okay.
currently leading in my fantasy movie draft because I have Barbie. So, I think we should wait till after award season.
Anyway, so there's geekshow.stores where you go to get our merch. That's the only place to get our official merch. Don't be fooled by a Facebook post. It's geekshow.store. Oh, and back to our Patreon, you also get the after party, which we do after we do this show.
Every week?
Every week you get the after party, so that's part of the Patreon. Don't forget our socials. As much as I despise Twitter these days, if you go to @Geekshow on Twitter, you will get breaking news throughout the week. You'll get the stories before we talk about them here, so you can be aware of what we're going to talk about. And, of course, Facebook, where you can find all of our stuff. All right, let's get going with more news. Last of Us Season 2.
All right.
Right into my veins.
Yes,
Some of
we
that. I
have
need
some
that
casting.
sadness.
We have Caitlin Deaver cast
Yeah.
as Abby.
I do want to express just like a tiny bit of disappointment in a lot of you out there because they announced this casting and I was like, yes, that's fantastic. She's a wonderful actress.
She's a good actress, yeah.
So many people told me, who's that?
Oh.
And I'm not mad. I'm like just disappointed. May I point you in the direction of two movies, Booksmart and No One Will Save You. Booksmart, you're going to have to pay to rent. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah. Booksmart was great, though. It was very funny.
Well, I mean,
Booksmart is the reason we were all so blown away by how bad Don't Worry Darling was because Booksmart was Olivia Wilde's directorial debut and it was incredible. And so when Don't Worry Darling came out and there's all the drama surrounding it, we were like, what happened?
Now, to be fair, those aren't very high-profile movies. They're great movies, but they didn't capture like the zeitgeist of the internet or anything like that. You know what I mean?
And this is why she's disappointed in you, Tony.
I knew who she was, so she
Oh, and
can't be
Dope
mad at
Sick.
me
I'm
for
also
that.
forgetting. Thank you, Liza. Now,
Yes,
Dope Sick.
She was awesome in Dope Sick. So was
right.
Michael Keaton. That was a great show.
And we won't hold it against her that she's also in Last Man Standing. But
That was a while
Listen,
ago.
people got to work.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Abby, the character she's playing, skilled soldier whose black and white view of the world is challenged as she seeks vengeance for those she loved, is the character description.
So she's Batman.
Yeah. Fans lobbied years ago for her to get the role of Ellie.
She
Yeah.
would have been a great Ellie too. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
because she looks like Ellie. But
Wait, who is she? Just kidding, Rebecca.
All right.
The fuse is lit.
I'm going to avert my eyes for this beatdown that's about to happen.
They're gonna start production in the spring, so that'll be coming soon. Now there were the Creative Arts Emmys that were announced, and Nick Offerman won for his guest shot on the one episode of The Last of Us, which I kept yelling, "Give him all the Emmys! Give them both
I think
all
that's
the Emmys!"
one of the best episodes of television I've seen
all time ever.
Oh,
exactly.
I started listening to Seth Meyers' podcast that he does with his brother called Family Trips, and they do an episode with Nick Offerman, and I suggest listening to it because he's definitely I've never like paid attention to interviews that he's done or anything. He's such a cool person, and like incredibly, like, he's intelligent and he has a great like vocabulary. Like, he's just not the guy I expected him to be. I highly recommend listening to that episode.
What I loved was how thankful he was for this part and how he felt that it was so an important story to tell. But then backstage, they were questioning him about it, and he said, "They offered this part to 3 people in Hollywood who know how to work a shovel. Harrison Ford wasn't interested. Jane Lynch was busy, and so they came to me."
Another show that if you haven't seen that he's great in is Devs. Check out Devs, and that was a mind trip. That show was crazy.
It's cool.
Carrie, do you also have the other bit of casting news for The Last of Us Part 2?
I do not. What do we
Don't
have?
worry, I got you. Her name is Isabella Marquette. You know her as Dora from Dora the Explorer, the movie.
Oh, really?
Amongst other things. But yeah, she will be playing Dina.
Oh, good.
In The Last of Us Part 2. If you haven't seen Dora the Explorer, the movie, I do highly recommend. It is extremely self-aware. I bought the novelization that it's based on because there's there's even more like self-awareness in the book. It's incredible.
Do they address the talking knapsack? Do they address that?
There's a clip that you can find on YouTube, and it's when she's younger and she's talking to the camera. She's like, "Can you say hola?" And the dad, who is played by him, drawing a blank, but she is looking at a camera, and her parents are just like,
What's she doing?
What is?
I think the explanation is magical fungi.
Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Well, great for The Last of Us Part 2.
Perfect.
What were you going to say, Robert? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it was just I was going to second Rebecca's recommendation of the movie. It was silly fun, and watch it.
All right. Let's see, Tony, you still watching The Witcher?
No.
No.
I need to go back. I need to go back to it. We started the last season. I got about. We made it to the break because they had some episodes and then a break, and the rest of them we haven't caught up.
They
on
have
that.
cast Lawrence Fishburne in a major role. It says here he'll be joining season 4 as, is it Regis?
I believe
Philbin?
it's not Philbin, but
Damn it.
Yeah.
Regis is.
He's from the books and the games, apparently.
I want to say, is he the vampire?
Oh, let me see.
Yep. Very powerful, higher vampire. Yeah, so he comes more into play in some of the DLC of Witcher 3.
He's a fan favorite, and I can't wait to see what social media thought of this cast.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I'm looking forward to everyone being so cool and chill about this.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like they were when they cast him as Perry White in Man of Steel?
Well, it's here's the description. He's a world-wise barber/surgeon with a mysterious past.
Vampire past.
Yeah, so he's
Spoiler
Theodoric
alert.
of York, medieval barber. He is. He'll be joining Liam Hemsworth, taking over as Geralt.
Geralt.
Sorry.
Carrie.
Regis.
Regis?
John 117.
John 117.
Gerald.
John,
You're lucky to get a
316.
single number, Tony.
Okay, so really quick on
I
this
just
one.
like giving you crap.
So
that's all.
I love the idea. I have not played The Witcher
Super fun
games,
Yeah.
but I love the idea. I love the casting, and I've really been enjoying watching where Lawrence Fishburne has landed over the past 10 years in movies and television.
Yeah.
Since he's come a long way since Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Well, no, but not only that. I was like, so we're still doing the watch through of all the Mission Impossible movies with the girls, and we just did MI3, and he was the director of the IMF in that one. I'd forgotten about that completely.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned, Perry White, he had the role in Ant-Man and the Wasp as Bill Foster, the original Goliath,
Right.
which they reprised in What If, and he brought him back for that and for season 2. And I'm just loving all these things where I'm seeing him in so many different places, and even his turn on CSI before it got canceled and then brought back as an investigator who had a really dark past. And the way that he brought that to life, it was actually fascinating just watching his take on that.
And if you want to go back to the beginning, go and watch him dancing to the Rolling Stones' "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" in Apocalypse Now. He was just a kid when he did that. So
so I mean, it's just
Phenomenal
really,
actor.
I'm loving watching
Man
him
works.
kind of have, I don't want to say it's a renaissance because it's not like he's gone anywhere.
No.
But I mean, because we've also, in the John Wick movies, thank you, Bug Hunter 801.
Yeah.
Just watching where he's popping up in all of these unexpected roles or all the unexpected castings, I guess you'd put it.
I mean, and he'll always be Morpheus for me.
And he will always be Morpheus, and Perry White.
Yes. All right. Let's see. So Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Apparently
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. I keep mispronouncing. I'm sorry, Tony.
That wasn't me this time.
Where's Tony on the monster versus the doctor? Where does he stand?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Frankenstein's monster.
Andrew Garfield was going to be playing the monster, but now he is out, and we got Jacob Elordi. He's currently in Saltburn, which I'm sure Rebecca's seen.
Oh, yeah, I'm part of this group chat trying to convince people to watch Saltburn.
Is it good?
It's a movie.
It's something.
Okay.
Wait.
It's on Prime. You can watch it there.
Okay, cool.
So I initially was kind of devastated by this news. But Martin Scorsese announced that he's going to make a movie about Jesus.
Yeah.
And I have my fingers crossed that's why Andrew Garfield left. Because if there's one thing about Andrew Garfield, he loves to be in things about religion.
He does, yes.
I don't believe this Scorsese news because it said it's only going to be 80 minutes or less.
I know he's ambitious. He's ambitious. We all know that movie's going to be 3 hours long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get people to come to the theaters. Like, I can't sit through a 3-hour Scorsese movie, but 80 minutes, I'm in.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
Yep.
This Frankenstein, this Guillermo del Toro adaptation is going to be interesting. It's going to be for Netflix, and I mean, look at the rest of the cast. I was sad to see Andrew Garfield leave. I thought he was going to do a fine job.
This is a good move for Jacob Elordi though, because he's his star on the rise, baby, and. I feel like he is kind of at a point where he can kind of pick who he wants to work with, and choosing to pick with Guillermo del Toro, such an A+ move.
Am I going to get in trouble for not knowing who this actor is now?
Jacob Elordi?
Yeah.
He's a rising star. He was Elvis in Priscilla, that Sofia Coppola movie, and he does a fantastic job as Elvis. He's really like scary and like just intimidating, and really puts across just, whereas like Austin Butler's Elvis was very much like, I'm Elvis. This one is like, I'm Elvis, like kind of scary and intimidating.
All right. Let's see other news. Wow. So this Exorcist movie that just came out, it tanked so poorly.
I heard it was so bad.
I hear it's terrible, but they're kicking David Gordon Green off of the next one.
Is this a picture of the minute he heard the box office numbers for the first weekend?
So all of the other pictures that I wanted to use, because I like to use a picture that also includes like a picture of the movie, but all of the pictures were of the two girls being possessed, and I didn't like it, so I decided not to include it.
So
Look what these horror movies did to our boy, though. He started in Pineapple Express and Your Highness.
This guy directed
Yeah,
those
and then he went on
two?
to do Halloween and Exorcist. And
He did go
He's-
on to do Halloween.
He's going to focus on his production of Nutcrackers with Ben Stiller
Spooky.
Oh,
and season 4 of Righteous Gemstones. So.
Okay.
Okay.
We're getting a season 4 of Righteous Gemstones.
So
Yeah.
he must be really good friends with Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
Yes,
Exactly.
of course. So this Exorcist believer, major disappointment.
Danny McBride, by the way, was involved with that.
He was, yes.
Yeah.
They shelled out $400 million for rights, just for rights to the franchise.
Yikes.
They planned a trilogy of films, and Believer topped out at $136 million globally, including just 65.5 mil domestically. And the next one was going to be Exorcist Deceiver, and he's gone. He's off of Deceiver. So what happens with the rest of this Exorcist franchise remains to be seen.
They milk it, and they milk it hard.
Until they make
They've
that
got
400 million
400.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much like original content that could be made. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, it says here The Exorcist Deceiver was set to hit theaters April 18th, but is now unset. Instead, Universal will use that date to handle the international rollout of Anton Fuqua's directed Michael Jackson biopic Michael.
Ooh, another good
scary
move.
movie. Another scary film.
Did you guys see the
Hey,
trailer for
oh,
that Amy
got 'em.
Winehouse biopic?
I
Witch?
didn't see the trailer. I heard that it was out.
Yeah. Everyone who is responsible should go straight to jail.
I was just thinking, like, do we need to tell this story right now? I mean,
Well, and like if you're gonna tell it, like maybe do a better job.
that too. Yeah.
Little things.
If you're gonna tell a
Just
touchy
little
story,
things. I don't
do
feel
a
like
good
I'm
job.
asking for a lot.
Let's do it again, but this time let's do it good.
Once more with feeling, everybody.
It's my David Lynch impression. Let's see. And finally this, and then we'll do a deep dive on Avengers Campus with my photos that I took. I found this fabulous. Lily Gladstone, who was in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Golden Globe Award winner Lily Gladstone.
Indeed. She grew up wanting to be an Ewok.
Blame her.
Lily Gladstone, she's made no secret of her love for Star Wars, especially the Ewoks. She told the New York Times in an interview, "I had a strong desire to be an Ewok at age 5." This is in a interview with Best Actress contenders, hosted by The Hollywood Reporter, and you can go and watch this. She cited Ewoks as one of her first acting role models. This woman's nominated for an Oscar probably coming up. I love this. She says they were her childhood inspirations. I wanted to be an Ewok, and that's what started all this madness.
Love this for her.
Well, wait.
That's
Let's. I think this is so cool, though. She's Native American, and
Well-
her quote is that the Ewoks were a beacon of indigenous resistance.
Yeah, I was
okay.
just
Wow.
getting.
And that is
Love.
awesome.
Okay.
When everybody wants to attack these properties and they want to pick them apart, there's somebody out there that these things resonate with.
Exactly.
And I think that is so cool. That's why art exists.
Context counts. Okay.
Yep. And representation matters.
She says they were a beacon of indigenous resistance. They rocked it. They brought the empire down. So there you go.
Love
Lily
that for her.
Gladstone loves the Ewoks. Okay. Let's begin. Last week, of course, you can go back to the podcast and the YouTube and watch our deep dive into Star Wars Land at Anaheim, Disneyland. This week, we're going to do a deep dive on Avengers Campus, is what it is called. Now, I loved Star Wars Land. Everything about it, except the food was terrible. Everything about it was great. I had a terrific time. And all I could do was lament that if Star Trek only had their shit together, we might have something this cool. But
Would be nice.
Just wait for when somebody buys.
Paramount, like I said, Disney, buy Paramount, please.
I don't want Disney to get their
That's too many-
grubby hands all over my
Too many
Star
eggs
Trek.
too many eggs in one basket. But all right. Well,
So I
Would you rather have Disney buy it or Sony buy it? That's all I'm going to say.
not Sony. I don't want
Okay,
Sony.
I rest my case.
Disney, yeah.
but Sony makes some good
Carry on.
Spider-Man universe movies. So
Shut up.
So So I walked into Avengers Land, Avengers Campus, and I stopped next to my tattoo, which is up on the wall there. You take that first pic there. I was very excited because that's my tattoo on my arm right there.
You look very excited.
I was trying to look serious. I didn't want to, I'm taking this serious. So the first thing I did is because right around the corner from this was go to the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, Galaxy Breakout, which is of course the Twilight Zone ride just refit with Rocket. When you go into the library where Rocket is, watch the shelf on your right, because Peter Quill's headphones, his Walkman, are there. And before Rocket leaves, he goes, "And I'm taking this with me," and he grabs the Walkman and takes it away. There's a little note there just next time. But anyways, as you get off the ride, which is still the best ride in Avengers Land.
No, it's too scary.
In the gift shop, I was thrilled to see, along with all the other stuff that they were selling, actual comic books.
Nice.
This is in the gift shop at the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. They have, 3, 6, 9, and then there's another rack of 9 different titles that you can buy comic books there. And I thought, wonderful, what a great idea. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Isn't that nice that they're selling comic books at a comic book themed place? I was very, very happy to see that. Anyway, so let's get to Avengers Campus. There's a big old building there with a Quinjet up on top of it there. As you can see, the Quinjet landed there, and there's Black Panther.
Whoa.
And what he's doing right now is he's looking on approvingly at the Dora Milaje experience, which was happening on the ground down below him. And it's a whole warrior training session with the Dora Milaje. And you get 3 Dora Milaje warriors, as you can see there, and they run volunteers in the audience through a training workout. Because that's the whole premise of this land, is Avengers Campus, is we're looking for new Avengers to join the whole thing. So, yeah. And
So for this training experience, are they doing with kids, or doing adults, or just whoever?
Anybody who volunteers, anybody
Okay.
who steps up. So there was a mixture of adults and kids that stepped up, and
Nice.
it was really, really cool. And as Black Panther nods approvingly,
Rebecca, can you zoom in on that picture for a second? I want to see one thing.
What?
Zoom in on this picture. I want to check one thing on the door.
Enhance.
I don't know that I
Enhance.
can.
Computer enhance.
I don't. The
Try
the way I'm-
your scroll wheel. Try your scroll wheel.
yeah, no,
Okay.
I know. I've got
That's
it in
okay.
slideshow mode. You
No, that's
gotta
fine.
just
Oh, yeah,
deal
in
with
slideshow,
it.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
What I'm looking at is the Dora are traditionally bald.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they're wearing head coverings so that the
Could be.
character portrayers don't have to shave their heads.
Could be.
You know, that's a good question, because they used to be
Yeah, and they
bald
did.
when I was there like a year and a half ago.
So I'm wondering if they just have head coverings now to go we're just going to get around this, because a lot
Or
of people
maybe-
are not wanting to.
It's winter, and maybe they're cold.
It was not cold.
Tough it out. The Dora Milaje.
Maybe
Tough it
for a
out.
local it was cold. I don't know. But anyway, right behind, as you see this picture, right behind this, you can see where they're selling some stuff there. On the other side of that is the Spider-Man web ride.
Oh,
Now,
is this the animatronic that we have a picture of right here?
No, this is the ride I'm talking about. I'm going to get to this here in a moment. I didn't get any pictures of the ride, but if you've been on Toy Story Mania, it's a Target ride. And that's what the Spider-Man web ride is. But what's cool about this, instead of a little gun like you have in the Toy Story ride, is you're using your hands.
That was a good visual representation of the Toy Story ride too, Carrie. I hope nobody takes that in terms of
into a GIF of some kind. But yeah, you fling your hands out just like Spider-Man, and with the combination of the 3D glasses and the technology, it looks like webs are shooting out of your hands.
how sweaty were you when you got off this ride?
I didn't try really hard. I was letting the people in the ride.
Those
next
of us
to me.
tryhards get off and need a towel.
I was
Should have done the
too
Dora
busy.
training first.
I was too busy looking at stuff. I was just fascinated watching, So I was doing it occasionally, not as much.
How many
And I'm
times
sure
did you ride this, Carrie?
Only once.
Okay, because I've heard that they give you similar to you, where you can individualize the crystals for your saber. That there are inserts for your web shooter that change the webbing
Yeah.
or something about the webbing that you can do?
You can buy a web shooter in the store across the way, and depending on the web shooter you buy, it does different things, right, Mike? What?
Yeah, so you get the standard web shooter, and that just is a general upgrade. But then you can add Iron Man or Doctor Strange. I'm trying to think of all the different adapters my kids have, and they have a lot of
Your
fun
kids.
with those.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You
yeah,
want
there's a
this,
bunch-
right?
yeah,
we're
there's a
going
bunch
to buy
of-
this.
And each one of those are what, like 50?
$80.
Again, you
$80.
just close your eyes and hand them your credit card.
Wow.
And they don't put price tags on things. They wait for you to get up to the cash register, and they go, "That'll be," and that's
If you
when
have to ask.
Exactly. So there's that. The Thanos-themed ride is still being planned, I understand, which will take place underneath the Quinjet is where that'll happen, is what I'm told. I couldn't find an update on that. But now to one of the coolest things ever, and Mike has seen this, and that is the Spider-Man show. It's a live action. It's a guy in a suit, as you can see. And it's really cool. He's up on top of a building, and it's Tobey Maguire's voice. Not Tobey Maguire. Who am I?
I was
Tom
going to
Holland.
say,
Excuse me.
wow.
I was
Okay.
like, Tobey
Holland's voice.
Maguire.
Yeah, Tom Holland's voice, excuse me. And he's talking about how cool it is to be Spider-Man, and he's, gesturing and all that. And then the computer reminds him it's time for training. And that's when he runs off stage, and then he does a countdown of, I'm going to do a big flip. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Now, as you can see, this thing shoots up into the air like you wouldn't believe.
Crazy looking.
And it moves. This is the wireless animatronic. And if you go on Disney Plus, you can see there's a couple of behind the attractions and things like that where they're designing this thing, this
And
wireless
also-
animatronic.
Definitely don't Google the videos of the animatronic crashing into
Failing.
that wall right there.
Because it
Yeah.
has
Or
happened.
do if you think it's funny.
I was going to say, if I were to go to Avengers Campus, I would want to be there when it doesn't work correctly, just so I could say I
Surrounded
saw
by
it
the
in person.
screams of horrified children.
Yeah, right. Oh,
So-
sorry, kids. Spider-Man's dead.
So he swings up, he does a flip, and then lands on, you can see this other part of the building where I guess there's some sort of big net or something to catch him.
There's like a big pad thing
Yeah.
that it lands on.
And then the actor shows up again where, he's obviously gone through a tunnel, and he shows up again and he goes, "Wow, that was awesome." And then he comes down to the ground where we're all standing. Now, when I did it, because Mike had a different experience than my Spidey just kind of ran past, just kind of high-fiving everybody as he went. He didn't stop for pictures.
He's got to
It
get to
was-
class.
He's got to get to class or something, I guess. But Mike was lucky enough that I guess he stopped and took pictures.
Yeah, he right under where this picture is. There's a photo op spot where all the kids can go meet him, and so I'm curious why they didn't do that for you.
Maybe
Now,
it's
here's-
a time
He
of
had to
day
get to
thing.
class.
Might have been the time of day. I don't know. But the best part of I'll call it attraction, show, whatever you want to call it. The best part of the show, and you're tempted to continue watching the whole thing up on the roof as you're going along. Take a minute and watch the kids around you. That was the best part. Them with their wide eyes
Yeah.
and their mouths open. Because he's real. He's right there. He's real, right in front of you. Such a great experience.
And he's doing the thing.
And he's doing the thing. Yes.
Also, the moment where I nearly fought another attendee when Spider-Man comes like right after this, and my kids are in awe. This 40-something-year-old dude with the scraggly beard turns to both my kids and goes, "That was a robot, right?"
Oh, get
And
moving.
Yeah.
Jerk. Come on.
Total asshole.
Santa's not
Yeah.
real.
You guys have never seen me very upset.
Like, why be such a killjoy?
Seriously.
Exactly. Here, let me crush that sense of wonder you have. Let me just step on that. The other
Oh,
parts
I
of
saved it. I said, don't worry. My kids still believe. So.
Yeah. The other parts of the park, it's Marvel adjacent because Big Hero 6 is a Marvel property. They've redone most of the park, this California adventure, into San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
So that whole part over there behind the bridge and everything, it's all
The
been
pier with all the
rethemed.
restaurants and
Yeah, the pier and all that. It's all been rethemed to San Francisco, and it looked great. As you can see, they
I
did
wish
the
they-
addition of.
I wish they'd do more with the Big Hero 6 stuff.
Me too.
Like with movies and TV and stuff, because that's a really neat.
Well, it has a
There
TV
was a
show, doesn't it?
series.
Yeah,
there was
there's-
a
Yeah.
series.
Does it? Oh, okay.
It's an animated series, and I think it's still on Disney Plus. You can
They're
watch it.
very short though, and I hope they
Yeah.
they continue making them.
Yeah.
But
They're
yeah,
good.
they went all in, and as you go through all the parks, there's always the hidden Mickey's game. Go through this part of the park and look for the hidden Baymax.
Aw.
His
Nice.
face is everywhere, including
Fuzzy
in
baby.
sushi rolls and things like that. Let's see. So let's get back to Avengers Campus. This was my extent of exposure to costumed heroes. They're all up on the Avengers Campus building. As you can see, Cap there, Cap Marvel there, Black Panther, Photon is there. The only character I saw down on the ground, and I just missed Iron Man. Great costume, by the way. I just missed him. I didn't get a chance to get my picture taken with him. But he had handlers around him. The one
Has
character
to.
that I saw out just amongst the people without handlers around them, besides the Dora Milaje, was Falcon, was Captain America. And it was so cool to watch him interacting with kids. I mean, he'd get down on his knees and, hi, how you doing? Sign autographs and all that.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So
Have you
cool.
seen the video? There's this one kid in particular who they must have like a season pass or something because he does repeat visits, and he always runs up to Sam and they catch up like they're old friends. It's just so cute. He
Yeah.
does such a great job of interacting with the kids.
And that's the best part of these parks, really, is seeing that. That's really cool. But now I'm going to give you my recommendation for the best attraction in California Adventure, by far.
Churros.
Carthay Circle. It's right there as you walk
Wasn't
in.
too
It's
far
that
off.
it's that tower, and it's a restaurant and a bar. And since I was by myself, I was able to get right in and have a few drinks and a little nosh before I headed back to Star Wars Land for the evening.
Churro?
No.
No, Tony, no.
No, Tony. Churros don't hold that
Dole Whip?
magical place in my heart. I'm
Dole
sorry.
Whip?
Dole Whip might, but
I saw you
anyway.
could get a Dole Whip flight.
Churro?
A Dole Whip flight.
Yeah.
What's in this drink? Is that like a slushy? Or
That's
what's-
it's a pear martini. It's,
Ooh.
So is that a pear floating
yeah,
on there?
it's a little
Oh,
piece of pear there.
How
on
was
top.
it?
It was delicious.
Sounds good.
And then I
What is
just
that, like
sat-
a mint leaf?
yeah, a little
in there
mint
as well?
And then I just had vodka rocks the rest of the time I was there. But
Gotta travel light.
it's a great place to just take a load off and just relax and be somewhat sophisticated.
Churro?
Tony.
And then
No churro.
as I was leaving the park that night, just show the snow picture. As I was leaving, this is downtown Disney. They made it snow
Aw.
Is
in
it
Anaheim.
like
Disney magic.
actual snow machine, or is it one of the like?
Like, is this poison
Yeah,
particles?
that's what I
or-
want to know. What is it?
Because it did not stick. It melted.
Okay, cool.
So it was a snow machine of some
Rad.
kind.
Imagineering, Tony. Come on.
Imagineering.
Exactly. So that was my little trip to Marvel Land at Anaheim Disneyland. I don't recommend the food.
Churro?
Did you get anything from Hank Pym's cafeteria?
It was terrible. Everything I had from there.
Is it
was-
tiny? Is
it
everything
was
tiny?
Here's the thing. Okay, so I go in. I don't
no,
want
they
a
take small
lot.
things and make them big.
I don't want a
They do
lot,
both.
so I thought
They
this
go-
is perfect. I just get a small thing because I'm going to be noshing as I go throughout the park. So I said I want the small Pimini sandwich,
Is it giant?
and I want this adult beverage to go with it, which is that it was kombucha based, and I'm like, oh, that's all you have? Okay, fine. So I said I'd like that small sandwich and the kombucha to go with it, and the guy says, no, you can't. Why is that? I said, because that's a kid's meal. You get milk, water, or soda. And I said, okay, I want the small sandwich, though, and that kombucha beverage. Nope. Milk, water, soda. I went, so you're telling me you're not going to sell me the child sandwich and the adult beverage.
Well, why don't you just order them separately?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's the Disney curtain. It's
take your
the Disney
soda.
curtain.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the Zayed curtain. It's the Disney curtain.
Take your
So-
soda with it and say, now bring me this drink.
This guy just could not wrap his head around the whole thing. that I just wanted a small sandwich and this thing. So I said, okay, give me the regular size panini then, and the alcohol-based kombucha thing.
Oh, yeah, I agree
We're
with that.
talking.
That made sense. Okay, so he had got that in. And it was one of the worst sandwiches I've had in my entire life. It was terrible. And so was the drink. I didn't finish either of those things. I took 2 sips of that thing and went,
Kombucha, so.
yeah. God.
Hank Pym is a horrible cook and bartender. That's all
Now
I'm
I'm,
gonna say.
I'm
Take
told
that,
that I'm told the pretzels are good.
The giant
It's-
pretzel's really good, and the
It's hard to
You know
to
what,
screw up a giant pretzel. You know.
You know what else is really good? The churros.
Churro?
That's what I hear.
but you have to eat them with the pinky up, so you're sophisticated.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Churro.
So yeah, I can't recommend the food, and if you've only got a little bit of time, I would say go to your Avengers campus, and again, comparing it to Star Wars Land, and I know it's not fair, but there was so much detail and so much attention with Batuu. But Avengers Campus, it looked like they just kind of, let's get this thing up here. We got to cash in on Marvel.
Here's the thought. So what if it was Star Wars? I realize that Star Wars is for everybody, as are superheroes, but Star Wars is also for people of a certain age who have grown up with Star Wars over the last 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an attention to detail that we may have for that. Whereas with the superheroes, it's more fantastic, a little more kid oriented. So I could see them going, we want the wonder for the kids, and we can, they're not going to be looking for as much detail for certain things outside of the characters that they may get, or the character interactions, that where we have the adults going to Batuu or Galaxy's Edge looking for the experience of being there. So it could be.
That's a good
that.
point. I think that it also has something to do with how the two were constructed, because Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was built in a otherwise empty part of the lot, and so they could build it from scratch, because they're really the same. If you think about, they both have 2 attractions. One's kind of a VR AR attraction, and the other one is a drop, up and down attraction. Rise of the Resistance, not to spoil anything, but it's got some of that. But Avengers Campus had to be built on top of the Hollywood studio thing that they had going there, and the Bugs Life land, and
they tore all that stuff out to build Avengers Campus, and so it's very small compared to Star Wars Land.
And I don't think it's done yet. Obviously they have the other ride that's announced, and Disney's had some hiccups as a business lately, but I think they're going to keep building it out.
Anyway, all right, let's find out what you consumed this week. Who wants to start?
I'll go first because I
Rebecca
missed
first.
last week. So because I missed last week there, and we didn't. Through the end of the year, I have a lot. So Letterkenny, the last season of Letterkenny. I was kind of burnt out on Letterkenny, but this last season was very good.
See?
Made me cry. Movies, Anatomy of a Fall, which is you'll see it popping up a lot in those award shows conversations. They cloned Tyrone on Netflix. That one, I enjoyed it. Dix the Musical. I truly think that Megan Thee Stallion will EGOT at some point in our lifetime. And then so the first movies I watched of this year, I am so woefully behind on movies. It's the 13th of January, and I have only seen 2 movies this year. First one I watched this year, Princess Mononoke. And then I watched Spirited Away, and I can't believe I cried as hard as I did during Spirited Away. Loved both of those. I read the book Lessons in Chemistry so I could start the TV show that it's based on. Lessons in Chemistry, the book, probably not a 5-star book critically, but it's a 5-star book in my heart. And so I started the show. I'm about halfway through the show now, and I initially didn't want to watch it because Brie Larson appeared to be such an unlikable character. But after having read the book, she's perfect casting for it. And I really if you know me, I'm a sucker for adaptations. And so I love to read the book and then watch whatever has adapted it. And so I kind of like the way that they like the changes and ways that they've adapted it.
Let's talk more about that in the after party, because I have a thought.
Okay. And that's I watched the first episode of Echo. It's
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The first episode was mostly just like a clip show of like Hawkeye, right?
The first like
It really
25
was.
minutes are, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the way I described it. My husband has the same thought. It is, you know, the reviews I had read before were accurate. Like it feels like a John Wick and a Breaking Bad, but it has that Marvel stank on it. So like we got that great that fight in the middle of the first episode, right? And that was awesome. But it still has just this like Marvel Disney sheen to it that I don't know how I feel about it. And I know I have to give it I know I have to watch
There's
more.
a little
but
bit of that. But yeah,
We'll
keep
talk-
going. Keep going.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk more about that in the after party for sure.
Anyway, that's all for me.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So we were continuing our watch through of the Mission Impossible movies with the girls, which again is still enjoyable. Like I said, we saw Lawrence Fishburne in this MI3. I think we're doing MI4 tonight. We also watched Spirited Away this week.
Oh, there you go.
Cry, cry,
And-
cry, 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 cry. She was so small and so scared and by herself in this big scary place.
And if you've not seen this movie, please do watch it. I mean, it's a phenomenal movie. It's a good coming of age movie. There's a lot of
I wish I had seen that movie when I was younger. It was, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's there's a lot of a lot of Japanese culture and mythology wrapped up into it that a lot of Americans won't get, but it is a beautiful movie. And Egg, yes, I did know that Neil Gaiman did the English script for Mononoke. When he was here back in 2003 or 4, I actually got him to sign my DVD of Princess Mononoke for that reason.
Oh, cool.
Book-wise, comic book find this week.
look at that.
Spider-Man Quantum Quest by Mike Mayhack, who you may know as the author of Cleopatra in Space.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've not read Cleopatra in Space, fun six issue graphic novel series, which takes Cleopatra and throws her into the future, where she has merry misadventures that make her the queen that she becomes down the road.
Oh, okay.
But this one is I mean, it's so much fun. It's a light, it's a Spider-Man story that it has the Fantastic Four, like Shang-Chi is in here,
Oh,
She-Hulk, and Spider-Man. The Fantastic Four come to Spider-Man to ask him to help them find something because of his Spidey sense that should help him be able to track it right down. And
okay.
mayhem ensues, and it's delightful. And let's see, TV Monarch season finale.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
man.
finale's
Oh,
out. Oh, we're gonna
man.
watch
Oh,
that this
we
weekend.
gotta
Oh,
watch
now
that
I can
today.
start it.
Yes.
It's good. Monarch is way better than I thought it'd be.
Yes.
And yeah,
All right, Tony.
Sure. So yeah, now I know there's Monarch, so I got to watch that this weekend. But what I did watch was Migration. Took some of the nieces and nephews, Megan and I did, to see Migration yesterday.
It's the cartoon duck movie.
Cartoon duck movie.
The
Yeah,
cartoon
Kumail
duck movie.
Nanjiani is the voices the main character, and Danny DeVito's in there. Plays Uncle Dan, Weird Uncle Dan, which he's
course.
basically a version of Frank that's G-rated. And so I loved it. Frank from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. If for anyone that doesn't know It's Always Sunny, fix your life. That show's great. But yeah, I would say it's a solid 3.5 out of 5 or so. It was enjoyable. It's not very long. It's only like 82 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got some funny stuff in there, and they also showed a short before it that was a direct continuation of the first Despicable Me movie, where the other guy that he hates that looks like a chubby young Bill Gates in an orange jumpsuit gets stuck on the moon when the moon gets big and goes back out into into orbit. And it's what he does stuck on the moon. And it is good. It was like 10 minutes long. That was probably my favorite part, actually, was the short.
And he
was
proves
quite
that the moon landing was faked.
No, he actually interacts with the moon landing equipment. So, yeah, it's
It's all part of the conspiracy, Tony.
they're just trying to feed it to me through media. I see.
Bold to assume you think the moon is there.
And it's not made of cheese. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and the kids had a good time. They were laughing, and by the end of it, they were like, "That was a fun movie." So there you go. Television shows. Echo, we watched the first 3 episodes. I'm in on it. I think it's great. So keep going, Rebecca. I think you'll like it as it goes because the first episode does feel very foundational. Like, okay, here,
Yeah.
do you remember her from Hawkeye? Here's her from
Remember?
Hawkeye. Yeah.
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 But then I think it picks up and gets quite good. And then we also binged the rest of. We'd only gotten to see episode 3 of What If season 2. We watched the rest of them in one night. Oh,
wow.
man, that show is so good. What If season 2 was absolutely excellent.
Yes.
Highly, highly recommend that.
I want a Captain Carter figure with her armor, her 1602 armor.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I just
That's
want
like-
more Captain Carter in general.
Who doesn't want more
Man.
Captain Carter? I just
Yeah,
introduced the girls to
see?
the episode that she was in last night. And they're like, can we watch more What If today?
Yes.
Aw.
Yes, we can.
So
Well,
great.
and she's live action in the Multiverse of Madness.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little. They may not be quite ready for that one yet.
Yeah,
So
no.
great. And then we found a new game show that we actually quite enjoy called The Floor. It's it's hosted by Rob.
Regal?
No,
thank God.
that's Holy Moly.
No, that's what I was like. Oh, please no.
The guy from he was the really upbeat boyfriend in Parks and Rec that was always isn't his name Rob something?
Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe, yeah.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah, we got there. We got there.
Okay. all
Anyway, it's a trivia-based show where there's 100 squares, and they bring 2 people up to face off on trivia against each other. And every time someone's wins, they claim the squares of the person they beat. And it's interesting trivia with a bit of a twist because most of it is they're experts on a certain trivia thing, and they show pictures of stuff from their trivia, and they have to take turns naming what it is or what it's from or a certain aspect of it. It's a lot of fun as the viewer because you just get to sit there and feel smart. You're like, that's a beetle, that's a fly for insects, you know. Oh, that's not an insect, that's a tarantula, you know. But anyway,
All right.
we like that one. We watched the first two episodes of that, and it's fun.
The Floor. Okay. Mike.
So, 2 recommendations and then an audio and visual aid. The first recommendation, D&D just released their Deck of Many Things and Book of Many Things, and the alternative art set of those 2 is one of the coolest D&D products I've seen in a long time. Just pick it up, and it's awesome. You won't regret it. There's a board game called Dune Imperium that's been out for a while. And just before the holidays, they released, it's a standalone expansion, so you don't need the first one, but it's called Dune Imperium Uprising. And they are both deck builder, worker placement, a small amount of war battles each round, but it is a mind-melting, it's incredible. And it's always fun. Every game is close. And I highly recommend that as well. And then for the podcast only listeners, here's a hint. Let's see.
That's a box of
hear that?
stuff.
It's a puzzle.
Legos.
Oh, Legos.
Oh, they're a
Oh,
puzzle.
I
in
saw a
sense.
logo.
It is
It's the
the
X-Chat.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, the black
X-Men
one.
97 X-Jet.
Da-na-na.
Wow.
And
Blackbird.
it looks awesome, and it makes me happy. And if you're interested in that, I'd suggest getting it soon off of Lego.com because
Think it'll sell out?
I don't think. Well, I think the initial run will probably sell out, but how many kids are buying these versus like the newer
Exactly.
sets? So
Who do you get with it? What figures do you get with that?
oh, let's see here. Wolverine, Rogue, Magneto, and Cyclops.
There you go.
Right there.
Sweet.
All right.
Nice.
So, and
Wait a minute,
Lego,
why
you
is-
can send us an email for
Yeah.
product placement.
You know he's Magneto because he's got a big M on his chest.
That's how you
Well, how
know.
else are you going to know?
M for the mean guy.
Mean guy. About all I watched this week because I was so very busy. I watched all of Echo. I enjoyed it. It has some pacing problems, but other than that, I enjoyed it. And season 2 of What If. Finished that up.
So fun.
All
good.
brilliant stuff. So, all right.
Season 3 is confirmed of What If? Are we getting a
As
season
far
3?
as we know, yeah. As far
Better.
as we know.
They're starting work on a Star Wars What If.
That's the rumor, anyway.
Wouldn't it just be visions?
Yeah, that's already Visions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
That's why I didn't report it. It's just a rumor at this time. All right. Anyway, let's games, Tony. Probably nothing.
nope. Go play your
think so.
backlog.
All right. We're going to head to the secret room now. We're going to head to the after party. So join us if you'd like. It's geekshowgotthiscovered.com. That's how you get there. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Churros?